Welcome back everyone to Master Game Design, Unreal Engine 5 Stylized Environment and Third-Person Blueprint course. In the last lesson we left ourselves off by creating the base structure for the foundation, which I mistakenly did for the top, but it's easy to fix. We're going to go ahead and do that right away. We're going to keep this as a base, and then we're just going to hold Alt, make a duplicate out of it. For now I'm just going to drag it a little bit above this entire selection. And then we're going to hit Shift G to make ungrouping, so we can go ahead and go back to the normal selections. Then what we're going to do, instead of just dragging the walls that we already have, what we can do is just make sure we select one of the walls. So this is the one that we were using. We can grab a more slim type of a wall. So I think this one is going to be the right one. This one over here. And let's go ahead and make use out of it. So the way we're going to make use out of it, we're going to select it. We're going to go ahead and go to the content browser. We're going to just have this selection, and we're just going to select one of the walls for starters. We're going to click on this button over here, which will basically get the selection from our content browser and just replace the asset just like that. So it's going to give us this sort of result. What I'm going to do right now is just simply, I'm going to switch all of these walls. We can hold Shift, we can select all of them, and because they have the same static mesh, it's going to allow us to just replace all of them just like that. And as you can see, this is what we're going to get. So now we're going to just simply grab them in and just pull them closer together, just like that. We don't need to pull it all the way, something like that. And I think that looks quite all right. We just need now to go ahead and fix the pillars. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Actually, I will go to the top-down view since it'll be a little bit easier for me. There you go. And I'll just go ahead and fix these right away. Just like that, we're able to make adjustments. It's quite simple, actually. And quite nice to work with, to be honest. And I'm just making sure that they are symmetrical. Since we're using the grid still, which is set to 5 right now, it's going to give us a nice form overall. Okay, so we got ourselves this type of a look, so that's going to work much better for us. Now we can go ahead and simply fix it all up, and actually going to hold Shift, going to select this entire section just like that. Going to hit G, Control G, make sure everything was selected. So I'm just going to move up and down to see if it is. Then I'm going to place this at the top, and I'm going to see if it's actually in the middle or not, which might be a little bit offset. There you go. All right, so now I'm going to hold Alt and just bring another level downwards, just like that. And that's what we're going to get. That's what we're going to leave with. And yeah, the other thing that we need to do is, if we look at this building over here, is just add a bit of an extra ridge and some bit of windows, some doors and whatnot, and finally the roof with the flag. So let's go ahead and do that right away. And yeah, what we're going to do now is just we're going to go to the supports. We're going to grab one of the supports, and the one that we're going to grab is going to be yeah, I think I'll use just this one over here. I'm going to hold Alt, going to just put it off to the side, and I'm just going to simply attach it onto our building. So let me just go ahead and see if it will fill up the gap over here. If it doesn't, that's going to be quite all right. The reason being is that this gap can also be added with the floor from the top, from this section over here. We can just drag it downwards, make it a little bit smaller, and that would also work out quite well. I'm going to see if it was the right platform and whatnot. Yeah, I think it's going to be quite okay. Also for the pillars, we're going to be changing them at the base as well. I don't quite like the pillars at this edge, so we're going to be changing them in a second though. Going to add one like so. Going to just actually hold Alt in this case and move it to the other side, so we don't need to work on this edge over here. And then we're going to hold Shift, we're going to select both of them, we're going to click E, or actually we're going to hold Alt again and just move it out back like so. Hit E, rotate this by 90 degrees, like so, and put it up to the side, just like that. So there you go, we're able to hide it away. This one looks quite alright. This one looks quite, or actually this one is a little bit too inwards. I'm going to bring it outwards like so a little bit. But as you can see, we're getting this bit of an edge. So I think we will need an extra floor on this side, which is going to be quite all right. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy this, Hold Alt, put it up, make sure that there's no edges, no gaps visible, basically. Something like so. And I think that's going to be quite all right. Just like that. Maybe I need to bring this entire section a little bit downwards. Just like so. And there we go. So it might not be completely straight. Maybe I just need to readjust it a little bit. I think all in all, it's going to be quite all right. Okay, so moving on. What we're going to do now is we're going to start working with some adding extra floors, adding extra, doors and windows as well. And the roof, of course, it needs to be added. So let me just go ahead and find that real quick. The roof that we're going to use might be this one. I think that's going to be quite a nice one. The reason we're using this as well is going to be because this area, ideally, I want to keep it more luxurious. So this overall section is going to look a bit more fancy with blue colors and whatnot, including this section. So maybe there's like some special deliveries going over here on this area and whatnot, some private market section and whatnot, while as this one is just more for cargo looking type of sections. So there is that. And yeah, let's go ahead and start adding some. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and add roofs. And I was talking about the pillars, so let me just go ahead and first of all fix the pillars on the side. It's actually going to be super easy to do for the bottom. I'm going to select this base, hit Shift G, grab these pillars all the way around like I did previously. Actually, I'm going to go into content browser and just click on this, and because they have similar naming convention, they're going to be one next to each other. Going to grab perhaps this one over here. Going to then simply replace them just like that, and this might actually, this is a bit of a shorter one, so I'm just going to go ahead and see what's up with that. Maybe grab this one. They all seem to be the same height, so actually this side was quite all right. So maybe I'll just use this one like so. Yeah, I think it's going to be quite all right. Just making sure that the pillars are facing in the same direction, which they are. That's pretty good. And now we're going to go ahead and add, of course, the top roof. We're going to find it over here, which is going to be this one over here. Going to hold Alt, put it up to the side like so. Click F, and let's just realign it a little bit. Maybe we'll need to make it a little bit bigger. Plonk it down, making sure that there's no base visible from here. So I'm just going to lower it down a little bit more. There we go. And maybe I need to increase the size a little bit extra. Actually, what if I try a little bit smaller? Smaller would work as well, but I'd like this roof ideally to be more visible. So something like this. There you go, nothing overlapping. Everything looks good from the outside, from all the angles, especially from this angle, since this is made mainly for third person. We gotta also consider basically angles from lower, not from the first person, so we don't really need to go like this or anything of the sort. Maybe this, for example, would be a bit more of a gap, like over here. But I'm not even going to be worried about that, because from third person, it might look quite alright. So yeah, it really depends on the context that you set up your assets with. And yeah, we're just going to, of course, see how it looks like. We're going to test it out afterwards. I'm going to grab this flag over here, going to hold Alt, going to just put it up to the side, just like that. And like so. Attaching it to the top, just like that. Alright, this looks quite nice. The other thing that we need to do is, of course, the windows, the doors, and whatnot. So let me just go ahead and see how this looks like on this other side. And one more flag over here is going to be needed. But some windows over here, door windows. Seems like we can just use the same windows throughout this entire section. It's going to be quite nice. And additional door over here. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. Checking if it's the same door. And yeah, so for the windows itself, we're going to set it up the top section. I'm going to hit Shift G to ungroup. I'm going to look for windows. So that's going to be maybe this one over here. Going to quick replace it. Maybe not. I think it's this one over here. So Unreal Engine 5 walls 3x4 windows. So this one, I'm just going to go ahead and replace it. And there you go. That actually seems to be the case. If it's flipped all around a little bit, so just make sure to rotate it 180 degrees if it's not visible for you. But this is looking quite nice. Then the door itself is going to be just a simple door. I'm just going to search it within the meshes for doors. Let's go ahead and see what we have. And we're looking for the one with hinges. So let's go ahead, sorry, not the hinges, the attachments themselves. And this is going to be, I'm not able to find it. I'm just going to check it over here instead. See which one we're looking for. And the one we're looking for is actually going to be this one over here. I'm going to just go ahead and find it in this section. And yeah, the way we're going to fix it is we're going to just simply add a door to this section over here. I'm going to just replace it, see what's up. And that's not the right door, so let me just go ahead and see if this is the right door. Maybe it's not. Or actually, I will use this door and I will just simply... that's not the door. I will grab the other one. There you go, the wider one. And I just need to fill in the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this mesh, going to grab it up like so. And I'm just going to just grab one of the walls, replace it, maybe just turn it 180 degrees like so. Turn 90 degrees. Put it off to the side. Just like that. A quick fix to the top section. So it's going to be quite all right. And finally, the top is going to be a bit easier within regards to that, since it doesn't actually have any issues with the width. So I'm going to select this, going to go ahead and add this door over here. So that's going to be 3x3 door. I'm going to just go ahead and add it, and there is still the same issue. So I'm just wondering if there is an easy way of fixing it, which doesn't seem to be the case. That's going to be quite all right though. I'm just going to do the same thing as I did before. Actually, I'm just going to duplicate it from here, bring it upwards, grab one of the walls. So it doesn't really matter which one of the walls I'm using for this particular case. I'm just going to scale it down. Going to be a little bit worried with the stretchiness and whatnot, but it is a plain wall, so I'm not too worried about that. There you go, simple, nice fix. And just like that, we're able to get ourselves a nice harbor setup. So oh yeah, actually one more thing, final touch, we need to add a flag over here. So just saw a flag 2, just going to add it over on this side over here. And it probably needs to be rotated like so. And yeah, there we go. We got ourselves a nice setup for this section. Or maybe it wasn't needed to be rotated. No, it was not. Okay then. So we're just going to go ahead and just attach it like so. And that's that. So in the next lesson, we're going to continue on and we're going to attach this entire building to the side of the harbor. Then we're going to move on to actual boats themselves. We need to start setting them up. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll be